turning over a new leaf. So, bringing you in with the vocals, you feel me? You are tuned into Kicking It at Mellow. It's your favorite people. I'm on the mic. Where you at? Welcome into this week type thing. Hopefully we give you good energy this episode. So kick back and relax in your seat, at your desk, on the couch, on the toilet. You know the vibes. It's your favorite host, Ashley Elise.
Yeah, in the pool, on the plane, on the beach. You know what I'm saying? On a yacht, to whoever you is, on a private jet.
Vacay.
Shoot, let us know.
In the back of the class.
Invite us. We'll do an episode there. Shoot, but nah, it's you know the one and only Brandon DeVincent. You know what I'm saying? He got slapped by the mic. What you doing, man? Anyways, in the back, you know what I'm saying? We got the lovely producer,
Miss Lola.
What? She came with a little nice.
Yeah, she said, Miss.
Yeah. She ain't hit you with what you used to, you know what I'm saying?
And she didn't even slide up to the mic like, dang. She hit y'all with it smooth, you feel me?
Smooth straight in there. But yeah, welcome back to another episode, you know.
Stop whispering late night vibes.
I'm not whispering.
They can't hear you.
They can hear me.
I can barely hear you. I'm sitting next to you.
That's it. You gotta open your ears. You gotta open them up. The path.
The good morning.
Stay cheese. Nonetheless, how have y'all been? How was y'all previous week?
Why
the listeners want to know.
Act like that. He said, how was the week?
It was the last week of May.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you don't want to talk about the past week, what you looking forward to in June?
Mm-hmm.
I just need a vacation. I want some rest. That's all I'm looking forward to.
A vacation, like where? Where you trying to go?
Somewhere with some blue water.
Some blue water?
Some nice blue water. Somewhere that I haven't been.
How much you pay for that?
I'm not paying more than $500 to get out of this country. That's it.
Okay, and what else you need besides?
$5 to the flight leaving?
Wait. She said the main thing she wants blue water. What else you need?
No. Okay, I need like ocean.
Ocean? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't take me to Galveston. No.
That water ain't blue now.
What you need? $500 you could pay me. I could produce that trip for you. Shoot, we'll mess around and put speakers in your bathroom.
Yep.
Shoot, I go put some water in your tub.
Yeah, you put the water
with
on the
the
TV.
blue dye.
Put the
You
water
feel
on the
me?
TV, let the music play.
Play the ocean sounds.
Put your little blanket in the room.
Get you some cucumbers. Cover your eyes.
Some of the Welch's sparkling juice.
Run me my $500.
Some cheese and crackers. What they call it? Charcuterie. Charcuterie board.
And I do you one. Shoot, I'll make you a drink. Put it in a glass. Get you a little straw, a little umbrella. Let's go. That could be my part-time job.
It could be. It could be. You can, yeah.
Saving people money while giving them quality experience.
Yeah,
in the comfort of their own home.
Exactly.
Now, the whole purpose of a vacation is to leave your home.
Not quite.
That's why they call them staycations.
I say vacation, not a staycation.
It is a vacation. It's a vacation at home.
Yeah, I just want to leave this country, okay? Get me out of here.
They're not going to let you back in.
That's fine.
Yeah, I heard that. When she try to come back to the airport, just stop it. I know y'all listening. Anyway, so she definitely wants a vacation. That's what she's looking forward to. What you looking forward to? How was your week? Give us something.
The last week.
I got my hair done and my edges was laid. Tell them.
It was. Baby hair is on fleek. What you talking about?
They don't say that no more.
It don't matter what they say. It don't matter what they say. They said it before.
You know what I noticed?
What'd you notice?
You had your Hoochie Daddy shorts on and now you in these pants. What happened? You wasn't trying to serve legs on camera or something?
I don't know.
You wasn't trying to give it to the people?
If y'all want to see my legs, I gotta sign up for the Patreon.
Alright. Come on.
Exclusive content. Nonetheless, What am I looking? What was it? What happened this past? I don't know, but this week, this month's gonna be crazy. Man. We got the golf tournament coming up. It's a lot. It's a lot. Every weekend, I feel like it's something. I feel like in June.
Oh, you know what's in June? It's
Juneteenth.
Yo.
Indeed.
Yo.
Indubitably. Yeah. It's gonna be.
I guess that's what I got to look forward to.
My bad. It is. Let me do the mention that because it just was Mental Health Awareness Month, correct?
Right.
And this past Saturday, I did get the opportunity to participate in a men's mental health focus group. I have some colleagues that are actually developing mental health journal for men, and we had a focus group. Lasted for a few hours, and it was a pretty dope experience. It's the first time I ever did something like that in a long time, to where it was just us, being able to talk about different things. I feel like we really needed more time, or at least more occasions to be able to do that. But it was definitely a dope experience, and I'm looking forward to supporting it. And I definitely be purchasing a journal when they come out with it, and do my thing, do my thug thizzle.
Thug thizzle.
Yeah.
It's dope. I was trying to fast forward, but I guess I be trying to stay in the present. But I guess I switched. I ended my neurology rotation. Started family medicine. And I think neurology was great. Definitely, every day this gave me vibes of appreciation for my ability to be able to function at the capacity in which I do. Reminding me not to take things for granted, whether it's simply waking up, being able to move all of my legs, arms, fingers, and toes type thing, being able to breathe without no problems, being able to smile and frown without any facial asymmetry type thing, just being able to do. That's what neurology gave me. Family medicine is a great transition. It's been dope just talking to patients, just managing their current chronic conditions. And I think the dopest part about it is being able to see humans type thing. And not that I haven't been seeing humans, but it's so how's the diabetes been going? How's your sugars? Whether they high or they low. Then I hit them with but what are you eating type thing, and I can see them smiling behind their mask. So it's always funny interacting with my patients. Cause I'll be telling them me too, bro, me too. My patient today was like, I drink a little soda. I'm like, a little soda. He's like, but it's diet though, it's diet type thing. So it's just it's always funny type thing. But it was a great transition. That's on the academic tip. For me personally, I will say that I did find myself I don't know if I was mentally exhausted, but I had about 2 days of that type thing, and I was just trying to bounce back. But I was able to secure me I was able to secure me a strawberry cheesecake, something I have been craving. What's crazy though, I was so much in motion that I didn't even eat it on the day I got it. I ate it 48 hours after the fact, and that is actually today. After I left clinic, while I was in therapy, or before therapy, I had ate my cheesecake. It was cool. It gave what it was supposed to give type thing. So, something I have to look forward to. Honestly, I'm just taking it day by day. I got a lot of things going on, a lot of things in motion type thing. I guess I would say one thing I have to look forward to is working as a journal mentor in the JANT program for people who potentially want to be med students or dental students type thing. I really enjoy mentorship, so that's something I look forward to, working with the students each week this month.
That's dope. That's real dope. I have a quick question. It's a side question. You be the flyers in the office?
You know what I'm saying? A little soft, a little razzle.
Okay.
Why you ask me that?
I'm just saying. I don't know if people recognize that's how you be showing up.
And this is me in scrubs. I put on professional attire. But my scrub game, it was clean, high key. I actually thought about starting a scrub line. I reached out to somebody that graduated from PV who's into the whole clothing line and designs clothes himself. Waiting to hear back, but that's actually something I'm interested in. I think I could make a dope line type thing. Me, I be into the jogger vibes. I like the colors. I like the zippers. We can make a great combination. Get at me if you into that.
Yeah. You got a preliminary name in mind already or no?
Nah. We working on it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Your boy showed the word like this. You know what I'm saying?
He had them shorts on today, y'all.
I did have the shorts on. They're not gonna see that though. They only see the upper body. But you know what I'm saying? You know who I work with. It ain't really no dress code. But best believe, don't get it misunderstood. If we was going to office, I would be the flyest.
You can be fly on camera.
I could be, but why?
It's for you.
Why do that? Huh?
You feel different, you know?
Right.
Here I am saying that, and I be jamming in a t-shirt when I be doing lectures for the crib or whatever
for interviews and when I defended my thesis, yeah, I was dressed to the max.
To the max. I thought you were about to say to the nines. I was about to say, ooh.
Nah, big clean. Shirt tie, lapel pin. Boy, it was clean, boy. Straight west. Glasses.
Glasses? He had his glasses on. Oh, okay. Well, you know, let's go ahead and drop it. My guy's glasses. Hold on. Let's slide in. Right. The topic you said.
Yeah.
Now I was trying to beat him to it.
Yeah, you trying to beat him to it.
I am.
But I got it though. Appreciate it.
Wait. But let me do it. And then you can slide in.
You want me to answer first? That's all.
No. You gonna be like, that is not what we discussed.
Yeah, I know. That's what it's gonna be. Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen. She told me to back from the mic. My bad. I got a little rowdy. We was there with it. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this topic is a surprise to the both of us type thing. I was thinking about it while we were talking. Actually, this lovely guy is the one who brought it up to my attention when he said that he was in a men's focus group this weekend type thing. Mm-hmm. And my guy actually intends to start therapy, which is funny because I meant to text you and say hey, did you ever find a therapist? And you brought up earlier that that last month was the month of mental health awareness. Mm-hmm. But I would like to talk about therapy this episode. And I feel like it can also play into what you were discussing. We're going to tie all of it in, loop it into a circle.
Okay. Unfortunately, I haven't experienced my first therapy session. I won't experience it until June 17th.
It's cool.
But again, I just want to shout out to my boy Yall, because I gotta hit him up. But yeah.
Right. No. Even if you haven't had therapy, I think we could even navigate the conversation from many different angles. I think I'm talking about therapy because I was having conversations with people who just started therapy, who started therapy a couple of months ago, who encouraged other people to start therapy, and people who are not in therapy but they sound like they need it type thing.
Okay.
So on that tip, I'll just say how I ended up starting therapy, and then you can jump in on what encouraged you to start therapy or what you're looking for in therapy.
Gotcha.
So how I ended up, if you don't know this or if you don't gather this, let me just disclaimer: I am an advocate for therapy. Okay. If you're looking for it, if you need some help, hit your kid up. I hope you find a therapist. But I ended up doing therapy. I remember it was the year of, I believe, 2017. I had graduated from PV and I was watching Queen Sugar, and I had been watching episodes after episode, and every single episode I was crying. And then it was just this one particular episode I was big crying. I'm in my room by myself and I'm like, yo, why can I not finish an episode without crying? What's going on? What's good? I've been my motivator, my cheerleader, my main support this whole time. I feel like I've been doing an adequate job, but something must be lacking because I'm crying and I cannot get myself to stop. I should probably consider therapy. So I reached out to my cousin, who's actually a counselor, and I was telling her about it. And she was like, I think that's a good idea for you to give therapy a try. And that is when I began seeking a therapist in the year of 2017, I believe. So that's how I ended up in therapy. But securing the therapist for me in itself has also been a journey. I started out with somebody, they were amazing for that time period. But I ran into a hiccup in 2019. That's the year that I found a lump in my breast, and I was advised by my therapist to... That is distracting me. Okay, so in the year of 2019, that's when I ran into a hiccup and I found a lump in my breast, and I was advised to see a therapist through my school to make sure that I was adequately handling the situation. So I switched from my therapist that I secured in 2017 to a school therapist in 2019. I gave it a try. It gave me Zen vibes. The room was smelling like peppermint. The chair was comfortable type thing. I was offered tea. From that aspect, it was good. But it wasn't working for me because I didn't feel like it was individualized for me type thing. And I was angry about other things, and it was just too close to home. And when I say home, I meant like school. So I wanted to separate it. I wanted to be who I want to be in those spaces when I need to just let it all out, right? So I went on therapy for Black girls. I believe that's the name of the website. Found me another therapist. Tried it, but that's when therapy was free. When I had to start paying $20 for each session on top of my insurance paying at $130, I had to get serious about securing me a therapist. And lo and behold, I came across a therapist that I've been rocking with ever since, I believe, 2020. Me and her have been rocking that long, I think. And we've been in the cut ever since. She's my go-to. Now, what encouraged you to do therapy?
This is very interesting because, especially in our community, this is... new generations are changing the narrative, but growing up, this is definitely something that just wasn't a norm. Still isn't really a norm, but like I said, we're trying to change the narrative. For me, I remember when you first was telling me about that, and I think you were telling me to consider it. I believe at one point, I'm sure you did, and I was just like, I don't need that.
That was a requirement.
And so, but moving forward, I think it got to a point to where it was for me. I like to be proactive. I don't like to be a reactive person, and I feel like just because I don't feel like there's anything over glaring that I need assistance with doesn't mean that somebody can't tap into something that I haven't addressed or that I'm subconsciously I'm masking myself from based off of if it's something traumatic or whatever the case may be, right? And so I wanted to address certain things because I didn't want to be in a situation as I grow older and react to something and react in a way that I will regret, because I like to live with no regrets. So that was the main thing for me, not because I had what I felt was an overbearing issue, but since I was so, as of these recent couple of years, have been really also developing myself to the next level. I feel like the only way I can really reach that untapped potential is to really go and attack some things at the core to really, go towards my overall development. The main thing that took me so long though was because I'm an overthinker, and so I'm asking people like, how do you choose? Like, how do you go about choosing? So I'm like, well, if you depending on does it mean anything by the race you select as far as your therapist? Like, does it go into effect? Does it mean anything if I get a male therapist or a woman therapist? Like, if I get a male therapist, is that saying that I needed a father figure in my life? If I get a woman therapist, does this mean I need more love? Or I wish something like I was thinking.
Right. You was thinking a lot, like, because even just hearing you talk about it, it just sounds like a lot. Like, did you put that much thought into somebody who's gonna cut your hair type thing? Like,
yeah, I do.
Right, yeah. But does it take you like a year to find somebody to finally sit down and cut your hair?
Probably.
I don't think so. That means you went out without a haircut for an extended period of time. It didn't take me no year to cut your hair.
That was different then. I'm talking about now. Now, if I was to go and find somebody to cut my hair, it in retrospect, it wouldn't take me a year, but it wouldn't just be like, I'm gonna pull up at a random bar. Nah.
Alright, but I'm saying sometimes in some spaces or some things type thing, we put a little bit more emphasis or we overanalyze things, and it prevents us from getting to where we need to be sooner. And I think one of those things happens with therapy.
It's really the root of it is just me. Like, I'm the type of person where I just like to be efficient. I don't like to waste my time, and I feel like most people that have gotten therapy, they pretty much told me that the first one hasn't been a hit. And I'm one of those people where it's like, I'd rather just optimize everything, the first one just be a hit. But I can't really control that. So that was the thing that got me, was I'm trying to control the least amount of people that I can go through and hopefully just hit a home run on my first one, but knowing that it's not likely to be the case.
That's interesting, trying to hit a home run the first one. Mm-hmm. When I found my first person, it wasn't like I didn't feel like I hit a home run. It was serving for me for that time period. But you know, everybody's journey is different. I do wonder what took me so long overall to get a therapist. Like, why didn't I have a therapist growing up, or why didn't I ever hear about therapy period, or anything mental health related, or the concept of emotional stability growing up. It's just more so like, you know, stop crying type thing. Like, if you gonna cry, we gonna give you something to cry about. Or this thing of like, you're too sensitive type thing. What you cry for, that's not nothing to cry for. Like, why you sad, like that's not even, ain't nobody died type thing. It's just always this concept of like shutting down those emotions, or that side of you type thing that's too sensitive, too emotional for a given space. That's what I was like taught, not this concept of it's important to be emotionally sound or stable type thing, to be able to accept and acknowledge and be present with all emotions, regardless of what they are. Right. I think that's crazy.
And it's kind of taps into a little bit of what we talked about last week when it goes to like surviving versus thriving, because especially for those that come up in that surviving state, at the end of the day,
you don't have time for emotions.
Exactly. You don't have time to complain. You don't have time for
none of that.
You just got to be strong.
They just like to maximize your time. We gonna shut all that out. Like, if it ain't happy go lucky, like, we not with it. We don't have we're not gonna make time for that.
Or even on the flip side, even if you are on that surviving tip, you may not have that many around you that you just feel
to be able to process.
Like to be able to speak about those things with, you know, you may not feel there's nobody that really understand.
That's funny. I literally was just telling my great aunt yesterday. We were having a conversation, and I just had to tell her, like, hey, you know, sometimes people have these emotions that may be pent up within them, and when they release it, it may not be pretty. We're not taught to be able to live with, to be able to handle, to be able to like nurture ourselves, like in regards to like our emotions. When you go to school, they don't teach you that. I mean, you might see a smiley face and you might see a frown, but those are just to give you like I guess the grade for the day based off your behavior. They don't tell you what these emotions feel like, because sometimes anger looks different, sometimes happiness looks different, sometimes sadness looks different. To be able to recognize those, and sometimes the feelings may not be just limited to happy, sad, or angry. It may be something else that's outside of that. So how do you process that? How are you present with that? How do you get through it type thing? How do you accept it, acknowledge it? There's so many things, and that's not something that's taught, or I wasn't taught that in school. They taught me math, reading, and science, and I ain't gonna say my reading is up to par, but you know, there were so many things that they taught me, but I really wish somebody would have taken the time to teach me the importance of my mental well-being, my soundness, my stability, mentally and emotionally. That would have definitely been dope. Yikes. But, you know, aside from that being dope, I will say now that I am on this side, which I greatly appreciate, one of the things that I have benefited from in regards to therapy is my ability to recognize why I have trouble with commitment, and not just like in a relationship, but just in general with committing to people type thing. I can commit to goals because I'm not afraid of that, because it solely depends on me. But when I commit to people and spaces, it's outside of me. It's outside of my control type thing. But going to therapy has put me in spaces to be able to self-reflect, to where I acknowledge that I do want to have commitments and deep connections with people in my space, in my environment. But just sometimes it's intimidating type thing. So that's one of the greatest gifts, is putting me in a space to be able to form connections, friendships or so forth type thing. That's the greatest one. What are you looking forward to? What are you hoping to gain from therapy?
That's actually an interesting question, because they asked that at the, not that in particular, but they asked about what we were looking to get out of the men's mental health focus group. And I pretty much just kind of told them, I was like, man, I really don't have any expectations with it, because that's the only thing that's going to remove me from like overthinking. I just got to go in and just let it happen, and kind of go from there. That just helps me because I know why I'm there. I'm there to take myself to another level. If I get to thinking too much, then I'm gonna be trying to be the therapist to them.
What's the next level? Okay, how do you define that for yourself? And then that's how you start creating the goals of what are you looking forward to out of therapy.
I think the coolest thing one of the coolest things, activities that we did with them is because they gave us individually like 10 prompts. Like out of all they prompts, they had a whole bunch of like prompts, and they randomized. Everyone had a little folder. And they had like 10 prompts, and they asked us to highlight the ones that we really felt like that we liked, and X out the ones we didn't like. And so when I went, it's like, I didn't X out any, because I'm not about to sit there and say any of these questions are bad, because it depends on where somebody's at. But the ones I highlighted, for me, out of my perspective, I highlighted the ones that I knew that I would sit there, that I didn't know the answer off top, that I had to sort of think about, that challenged me more. So I probably highlighted maybe 5 out of the 10, because I felt like those weren't just an easy answer for me. Like I was going to probably think about it. When I think about a journal, think about something that I might sit there and actually try to express, myself to the fullest capability, and something like that would keep me there for a minute. So I think, that was my perspective on that. And that's a little bit around from what your original question is, but that's what
your goals are.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking just to be challenged, I guess, if I had to give an answer, even though that's what therapy is. But for someone like me, I like to challenge others. I like to challenge myself. There's not many times that I'm just challenged by someone in a way that I hadn't thought of before. I was just keeping the butt. It's not me talking
that
I hadn't thought of it. Yeah.
Talking to myself in my head.
Oh.
So what's funny is you're on that end of the couch and you're getting ready to start your journey in therapy and trying to figure out what it is that you're hoping to get out of it. And I'm sitting on this couch, and I've already gone through that process of what I'm hoping to get out of it, and just reaching different layers within my journey type thing. And every so often, there's always this new, like, okay, what am I trying to do now? We've tapped into this. We've begun working on this, or began working on this concept, blah, blah, blah. You're getting better. Now what's next type thing. It's always that continuous accountability in which I appreciate, aside from me being open to forming connections, actually specifically with women, because I've always been a tomboy type thing, just hanging around the dudes. So therapy is actually something that helped me with that. Something else that therapy helped me with, because I'm survival of the fittest, always on the grind, making things happen, making things shake, is actually just being able to be kind to myself and give myself a pat on the back every now and then. Like that cheesecake thing, like it probably wouldn't have happened, honestly, as soon as it had. And that's funny because it's a bit delayed type thing. But that was my way of saying, like, you deserve something kind and something sweet type thing. What do you want? Like, how can I show up for you today? How can I give you a hug from the universe today type thing? I haven't always been able to, sit in my wins, essentially. I'm always just a person who achieves and keeps going. But therapy, since I know I have to go talk to my therapist, I know we're going to discuss X, Y, and Z aspects. So I'm like, ooh, if I know we're going to talk about it, hold on, let me make sure I address it. It's like I'm like a little kid. Like I want to go back and tell my therapist, like, oh, okay, I did this, or this popped up, and this is how I handled it, da-da-da. It's almost kind of like a parent, high key. I don't know what those hit like.
I was going to ask a real quick question, just for somebody that may be asking, do you feel like there's an expiration date with therapy? Like, was there a certain point where you could outgrow it, person?
I'm not sure you can outgrow it. So the current therapist that I had, when I first started with her, I was actually going to her every week. And it wasn't like I had something crucial going on. I was just trying to be in a space to prepare myself for what was coming, because I was getting ready to go into a tough spot in my academic career, and I just wanted to be mentally prepared type thing. So I was going to her every week. So then when I hit it, like, it still hit, but I was like, yo, I'm used to this routine type thing, like, we're gonna carry me through this. Now I go to her every other week, and I actually considered switching that to, instead of every 2 weeks, changing it to every 3 weeks, not seeing seeing her so frequently so somebody else can slide in. But shoot, I had a session today and I plan to have a session next week. I'm not sure if there's an expiration date type thing, but you know, it very well possibly could be. But I feel like you should have a therapist, just period. But maybe you can possibly outgrow a therapist. That's probably possible type thing, I think. But I haven't necessarily done that with this particular one. But I guess you could say I did that to the other one. I outgrew my first one. I wasn't being challenged type thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And the second one just didn't make the cut. But I am really excited to see you start the therapy journey. I wish more people would consider therapy. It's not a bad thing type thing. Yeah. Hopefully you do.
They gonna consider.
But you know what I find when it comes to therapy? When people say they don't want to do therapy, one of the reasons is because why should I sit up here and talk to people? Like, what is that gonna do? Like, it's not gonna fix my problem. It's not gonna change the situation. It's already happened. So why am I going to talk about it? It doesn't do anything, and it's going to make me feel worse. And I'm just like, golly, what do you want them to do? Change your life? Like, have you ever heard somebody say that, or is that something that you've also applied? Because I mean, you haven't had a therapist, and I about to say you going on 30. You're not going on 30. You going on? What are we? We're 28. We're going on 29. I know you say you like to overanalyze things, but was talking to yourself enough, or did you make it enough?
I think talking to myself can be enough, but it's one of those things where it's like, why does it have to be enough when you have resources out there? You know, because I do think where you can solve a lot of problems, you know, within yourself, there are some times where you just need to just talk it out. Because I remember even when I was doing my research and stuff, and you would ask me some stuff. And when you would ask me some things, I know that I have to explain it on somewhat of a grainier level for it to get to a point where you can understand. And with that, I was able to figure out some things just by laying it out there. You know what I'm saying? Or just by you saying, well, why don't you just do that? And I'm looking at like, what? Like, but then I think about it like, that could work if I do this or something like that. Like, you just never know what can happen when you just kind of like talking in situations and stuff like that. So yeah, I've been on that side, and I've said those things like, why I need this, whatever, blah blah. I heard people say that, but it's just like you never really know until you actually start being in situations and you actually utilize someone else's ability to just listen to you, or you know, and then it's like, you know, change it.
Right. So what would you say would be a negative of trying therapy? Because we talking about positives. Surely for
Negative
every
that I've heard
pro, there's a con. No, from your personal opinion, what would you say would be a con to trying therapy?
I don't want to say there's a con yet, because I haven't.
There's a pro to every con. Like, just hypothetically speaking, what would you think would be a con to doing therapy?
The only con I would have right now is just money. The affordability of it, because you may find somebody on that you may like, but they may not be covered by your insurance, or they may not accept insurance at all, or they just price it just be crazy, like, you know what I'm saying? So that could be one con. So
accessibility.
That too, if you and also if you prefer virtual, if you prefer in person, like that could be something that can get in your way, because some people are only doing it virtual. And not allowing for in person, and you may be somebody that likes in person. So
I feel like that would have been my answer, but that's not my answer. I feel like one of the potential cons to therapy is the capability of it to open up doors that you may not know existed, and if you didn't know they existed, then those are emotions that are potentially flowing through that you may have to sit with after therapy is well over, like after you're by yourself type thing. So in short, the unexpected emotions, and some of them may very well be heavy and some of them may be happy, but it's just like depending on where you are in your readiness type thing, or your ability to become ready whenever you're hit with the situation, it could look different And I say that as a con, but it could also be a pro type thing. It puts you in spaces sometimes to where you may be uncomfortable, but it may be necessary for your growth. The enhancement of your awareness type thing takes place, and you being able to see yourself from different angles type thing, reaching that understanding of why you move the way you move. And that doesn't just happen through pretty conversations. Not saying that it be ugly and it's a stab in the chest all the time type thing, but sometimes you never really know that you felt a way until somebody says it a certain way. I'll give you an example from my session. I was asked, you were neglected, and I was like, It kind of like hit me in the chest. I was like, who, me? Yeah, you were emotionally neglected and abandoned. And I was like, oh, yikes. That kind of hit. But it began to make things fall into place for me. I was like, okay, I have been looking for a word, but I didn't want to say that word because that word just sounds so heavy and negative. But what it was true. And it was a piece of my truth that contribute to me and who I am type thing, how I was treated. And it allowed me, whenever I heard those words, it allowed me to be able to process my emotions around that particular topic involving certain people type thing. Was it a pretty process? I appreciate every single aspect of it type thing. But I think that would be the con, if any.
Yeah. And just be on the lookout, you know what I'm saying? Because I will be updating y'all. I know y'all probably going to be wanting to hear. Maybe I don't want to hear.
You be sounding sad. You ain't even giving late night vibes right now. You giving I don't know. You about to get up and give a sermon in a funeral type vibe. It's probably because you all black.
Y'all watched the episodes, right? But she be talking about me. I be interrupting her.
All right. I'm sorry. The energy over there. It's probably the all black. I don't know. Funeral home vibes. It's okay.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to potentially visiting the Upside Down. Shout out to Stranger Things. You know what I'm saying? When I get posed some certain questions and we got to go deep into the soul, deep into the past. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I want to feel those emotions. You know what I'm saying? Yank those tears out of me. You know what I'm saying? Get real with me. Or let me get real with myself type thing. But, nonetheless, like I said, I'm going to keep y'all posted because some of y'all may want to know. So, we'll see. What you smiling for?
I'm now don't scare the people away now. Therapy ain't going to have you up in there crying. But crying isn't a bad thing. Yo, and that's another thing I learned type thing, during my process. Not necessarily that I learned that in therapy, but who I'm becoming, a person who actually, okay, I'm going to cry literally in person. I actually cried one time in front of my attending and my resident in the hospital during a feedback session type thing. And when I started crying, I said out loud, I'm crying. And I'm crying in front of people. You know what? I don't care. I'm human. I'm just going to cry. I would never in my life do that. First of all, I thought crying was a sign of weakness type thing. But now I'm crying in front of people. That always make it worse. If you're not a crier and you cry in front of people, that just be pissing you off. But anyway, that's enough of my side tangent. We just wanted to throw this into the space. Hopefully, I guess to summarize, I'm an advocate for therapy. My guy is going to start therapy, so hopefully he jumps on board with being an advocate for therapy as he shares his journey with it. And if you guys would like to hear more about our journey just in general about therapy, drop comments below. And me personally, I don't mind sharing my growth points type thing. I think that's kind of what we try to do in our topics or whatever. But this is essentially to encourage people. I know May is a month of mental health awareness, but it doesn't just stop. We don't just advocate for mental health in the month of May. It's throughout our entire life. So I pose you, if you have not tried therapy, to consider it. You don't have to go and look for a therapist now, but I would definitely advocate for considering it. And if that's not your way right now, then consider journaling or consider doing something of expressive form, whether that's painting or drawing, doing something. I don't know. Be creative. Be you. Find an outlet and do what it do type thing in order to maintain. So we're not gonna advocate for harm.
Martial arts.
Okay, you said beat people up.
You didn't let me finish.
He meant to say Those who cause harm to you, defend yourself. That's what he's advocating for.
No, real talk. But martial arts is not really about beating people up. But no, you could definitely get into that mixed martial arts or boxing and stuff like that. It's a good avenues to let out,
right.
expression.
But anyways, before, I guess we take turns cutting each other off. But therapy, it is not just for people who are in trouble. You can be everything going good, everything going great type thing. They're not just here to save you when you're drowning. There's just a great resource to tap into. Kind of like having a primary care doctor, family medicine, internal medicine. Throw in the therapist in that combination. And then I want to say that's probably it for this episode. We just going to keep it strictly to this. Thank you for joining in into this session. Stay tuned to the next one. Who knows what we're going to talk about? Like I said, these topics typically flow from my experiences through the week. If you have a recommendation, please drop your recommendation down below. And as always, we appreciate you for coming into the space. Hit that subscribe button. Go follow us on social media. Or, if you're not listening to us on YouTube, you listening to us on other streaming platforms, that's cool too. Hit that share button while you at it. Spread this information, spread the positivity, spread the peace. And as always, we appreciate you. Enjoy your week.
That was 45 minutes instead.
Yeah, did you say the battery had 2 hours?
It had 2 bars on it.
Oh, I can't read.
Yeah, we can't read that at all.
I'm over here big struggling. I'm like,
it's about to die.
2 batteries? He was thirsty the whole time, huh?
Yeah, I gotta drink.
Brandon, do you talk medium speed or slow speed?
What you mean? It's varying levels.
What do you think he talking? Medium speed or slow speed?
On here, I try to talk slower because for enunciation purposes.
Okay. I was like, why is he talking so slow?
If I talk fast, then some people won't understand what I'm saying.
I've had that happen to me twice this week. I was like, what'd you say? He told me I was getting miscarriage vibes. I just be talking.
Oh, I hate it want to be a part of the podcast. You wouldn't even be your last time.
See, I'm talking about that.
She made
Tell them.